the hardest and yet the most important farm management practice in poultry is cleaning up the poultry house after you must have successfully raised the birds and sold them off. It's the hardest but the most important, because if you don't do it right, the next batch that are coming into your poultry, that same poultry house, will inherit whatever the previous batch left behind. So in this video, I'm going to be cleaning our poultry house because we have raised the birds, we've sold them off. The house is not totally empty anyway. We still have just about 6 of them here, but the 6 have already been sold. It's just for us to dress them and then send them over to the owners. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through how we clean poultry house over here in our farm, and the video is starting right now. Cleaning the poultry house is not a duty you leave to one person, unless the poultry house is a very small one. But if you have a quite large poultry house, it's not a duty you leave to one person, because it takes days for one person to do this and do it very well. It takes time, it takes energy, and the person might be drained. So certainly, if you leave it for one person to do, please, once the person is done cleaning the place and sanitizing it, give that person a full week off to go and rest. It's not easy. Now, there is something you need to consider before you clean a house, a poultry house. The most important thing you need to consider before cleaning a poultry house after you've sold off a set of birds is to check the condition in which the birds that left the poultry house left the house. As in the condition in that if the birds were not really that sick during the raising period, and then when they left, they still left completely healthy, you understand, there's no infectious anything, the best way to clean the house is just clean it, sanitize it, and then after 7 days you can restock the same poultry house with birds. But in between, in that 7 days waiting time, you can still decide to sanitize, disinfect the house again, maybe one extra time. Then if the birds left in not so good condition, we recommend you leave after cleaning and disinfecting the poultry house, you leave it to stay for at least 10 days. In between these 10 days, you still disinfect the house, like say 3 more times. So maybe you disinfect and sanitize it every 2 days, because there is every possibility that the previous sets that were not so well left some infectious agent behind, which will affect the next batch that might be coming in. That's where you see cases of a farmer raised broilers or raised birds successfully, and when he brings in the next batch, within the first week you start noticing massive mortality. There is possibility that the cause is there are traces of elements left behind by the previous set, which is bad for business. Now, the previous birds we raised there, actually, I'll be sincere with you, don't trust any hatchery. They might be good today, next batch they will give you the worst. If you've been following my video, just take the history, you know the hatchery I used last. Let me not mention any name. So if you are an investigator, you can go back and check. But these birds came with serious respiratory problem. The last set we brought in here didn't do so much well. If you can recall a video that I did on how to handle the old chicks, I complained about the weights. The weights were lower than what the hatchery offered in the past. And also, if you can recall, when I recorded a video of our first vaccination, I also mentioned in the video that we are 2 days late because of some issues that we were handling, which I didn't mention. Well, now those issues were respiratory issues. These birds came with respiratory issues, and it affected us. Well, yesterday, being the 40th day, we sold off the entire base, and I was privileged to meet a colleague of mine who consulted for various farms, and he was actually going to check on the farms he was consulting for, and he took me to about 5 farms that took the same batch of birds with me. I think my own birds did better than theirs because they had the same issue with me. So it's a hatchery problem. It's not a problem that started from here. I'm not the only person. Even the farmers forum we have here in local government state of Nasarawa state, people that took that birds have complained. So please, hatcheries should take a closer look at their breeder stocks. This is very bad. not after farmer have spent a lot of money getting your day-old chicks. Farmers have also spent a lot of money buying feed at exorbitant prices and medications, and also spending time in labor raising these birds, and now they end up suffering for what came from the source of the birds. That's really bad. And also the painful part is that professionals like me, most poultry veterinarians and most animal scientists that consult for farmers don't always believe when farmers complain. They think the fault is from the farmer. Now I'm a poultry veterinarian. I'm also a farmer. So most of these farmers know what they're talking about. At times the consultants think that the farmers are careless. They are not. When the source is bad, it affects the whole production. Now our birds, we kept having respiratory issue from week 1. So there is this thing we did, this strategy we did. We, on the 3rd week, towards the middle of the 3rd week, we had another issue of respiratory incidents again. So we treated them antibiotics, and then we started targeting to get rid of these birds on the 5th week. The essence was the medication ended around the beginning of the 4th week, and then from the beginning of the 4th week, we left the birds for extra 5 days. The essence of these 5 days is to give it the withdrawal time for that antibiotics for public health importance. Now birds, broilers mature at 5 weeks. So from 5 weeks, it can start getting rid of them. So for us, immediately we clocked 5 weeks. And that 5 weeks have already marked the expiration of that withdrawal time we were waiting for. We started getting rid of the birds. And yesterday being the 42nd day, the 40th day, by then we got rid of everything. The reason being that we need to clean here very well and sanitize it, because there is possibility there are particles left behind. But we'll first of all consider the public health importance before getting rid of the birds. And the birds left in a better state. But during the raising period, one of the things that affects the weight of birds is the disease condition. Whenever your birds are sick, even if it's for 2 days, it will affect production. Broilers are being calculated by weight. Those 2 days are almost lost, and it's really bad. Hatcheries, please take note. If you've ever had issues with any hatchery, maybe your birds came in not so worthy, they're sick and affected you, you can still feel free to share. Especially when the professionals consulting for you are not believing you, you can still feel free to share with us in the comment section. We believe you, we have the same issue. So for us over here, we suspect that there might be traces of infectious agents left behind in this poultry house. So we want to clean, sanitize, disinfect this place and leave it for at least 10 days. And then every 2 days interval, we'll come in again and spray disinfection everywhere to make sure that we get rid of everything. Now, I don't know where to start actually. Okay, I will start from somewhere. Remember I said that cleaning the poultry house is one of the hardest. And these are the things I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be doing it alone anyway. My brother is coming, the farm attendants will have to handle the rest of the farm while we do this cleaning. These are the things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be cleaning everything. The butters will be washed, the buckets will be washed, the tables, the ladder, the feeders will be washed and disinfected. The side walls will be carefully washed independently, not as just washing it anyhow. We'll cool down to wash everything gradually. There is no hurry in cleaning up the poultry house. Now these birds that are still remaining, I'll have to take them outside. And then they'll have to learn that free range of rearing method. But I'll be taking 1 or 2 feeders for them so that they'll have access to feed until when we are ready, maybe towards evening, to slaughter them, dress them, and then send them to the owners. So another way to clean the poultry house, which I always do, I start from up and then bring it down. Although the birds didn't spend time staying up, but there are cobwebs. And it's best to clean the cobwebs when the ground is still dirty, so that the particles, when they fall to the ground, when it's time to clean the ground, you clean the particles that fell down as well. Then the next, if you see this floor, you notice the beddings have attached to the floor and it's a bit hard. So when I've removed these feeders, everything on the floor, I have to spray water, use pipe, connect it to the tap, spray water to soak it, and then it can be easily scraped away by the shovel. I'm not really going to be showing you the process of doing it. I've already told you what I'll be doing, but I won't be pointing camera and you'll be watching everything because it will take a lot of time. And for me to do that, it will be best done on a YouTube live. So you'll be seeing it happening live. So just take a look at it right now. Consider this to be the before. These nipples will be washed. The pipe, these plates will be washed. The pipes will be washed. Inside the pipe will be soaked with isoclor to wash inside. The nipple cups and the nipples will be properly washed. So we are doing total makeup over here. So take a look at it as the before. Probably I'll be showing you a few moments later. You hear it in SpongeBob tune. A few moments later, then you see how it is after.
A few moments later.
We are done washing the poultry house. So here is what we have here now. The floor was washed to be very neat as possible. Don't mind the video that you saw only me doing all this. I didn't do this alone. My brother assisted me, but he said I should trim out the clips where he appeared, so I had to show only myself doing it. So this is it. We've washed the nipple cups. We washed this angle pipe. We washed the pipes. We've soaked the inside of this pipe contains water now, and the water contains isoclor. So what isoclor is helping us do is to sanitize inside the pipe, and then after soaking it for about 2 days, probably tomorrow I'll be discharging the water and then flushing it again with plain water and then replacing isoclor again to be certain. Now in the next 2 days we are going to be sanitizing here again. We are just going to be disinfecting it, and then after the next 2 days we disinfect. I've already booked for chicken, the broilers that will be raising for the Xmas, and this time around I'm trying Said. So here are the brooding area. Actually, here is the brooding area. We've already demarcated it with this trampoline to separate the rest of the poultry from the brooding area, and also over here we share the brooding area into two. You know, when they come in they will be smaller. We want to raise we booked for 550 broilers for the Xmas, but if the price goes down they will compensate us by giving us more chicken, more broilers. So the brooding area we share it into two. When they come in smaller they will start from here, then when they start getting bigger we'll then have to remove this and allow them to stay all through this brooding area. That's basically what we've done. The disinfectant we use is Morigard alongside formalin to do all the washing, and in 2 days time we are still going to be re-disinfecting these premises. And if there is still time, because the beds are coming in on Friday 11th of November, So if there is still time, every two days we disinfect these premises again. Every two days we disinfect it again. Every two days. We keep doing this until a day before the chickens will arrive, when we'll prepare the premises again for receiving the old chicks. So that's basically how we prepared for sanitize this place and prepare it for bringing in new birds for the Xmas. How do you clean your poultry house after you've dispatched, you've gotten rid of the previous batch? So feel free to share with us in the comment section of this video. If you have any question, also leave it in the comment section. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and then see you next time.